Welcome to In Conversation with Wyecliffe Galleries. My name is Ben Fry, and this is your fortnightly delve into the contemporary art world.
My name is Katia, and I'm the creative director here. And in each episode, we bring you conversations with our professionals, our team, and of course the artists themselves.
Brilliant. This one, we've got an extra special episode for you today. It's the Wyecliffe Galleries 20 years anniversary. So we're going to reminisce over the last 20 years, pick out highlights I can't believe it's been 20 years, but extra special one today. We're going to pull the team in for a little chat about Wyecliffe over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I literally cannot believe it's been 2 decades and we have covered a lot of ground in those 20 years, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We started off in 2004 with just one quite small gallery. And over the last 20 years, we've moved next door again. We've taken the warehouse space that we're in now, which is behind the galleries based in Weybridge. So we've expanded incredibly, really, over the last 20 years. And the art market's changed an awful lot.
It has. I'm kind of interested, though. Why did you open the gallery in the first place?
I was running a chain of art galleries for someone else, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of pressure because we had 8 galleries. So the stress was incredible. You tend to find that you would concentrate on several of the galleries to get them performing, and then other galleries, good staff would leave, and you'd end up chasing your tail constantly. So I wanted to do just one gallery. I didn't want to do a chain. I wanted to do one gallery and do it really, really well, and be able to provide great art with a great team of people. And of course, when I started in 2004, the website was less important. You had to have a website, but you didn't really trade online. So it was all about the destination of the gallery. And so I chose Weybridge. It's a very affluent area. It still has a nice feel. It's close to London without being crazy busy. So it had a nice feel. I thought it's a good community here. So opened in Weybridge in 2004 and just built from there, really. We got some really, really great collectors. In fact, some of the people who bought paintings from us during our opening are still collectors now. So we're doing something right. And of course, over the last 20 years, we've had the growth of the internet. I remember people saying, like I said before, you don't need a website. Why would you need a website? Everyone's going to need to see art. And now, of course, every evening, we just get the orders just coming through. We get people ordering 10, 20,000 pound artworks shipping across the world, and they've never seen the art, never seen the artist. So I think people's belief in the internet has meant that art retail online has become viable. But you still need that team of people. You still need that personal connection with the customer. So that's probably been the biggest change over the last 20 years. But we still have that community in Weybridge, which is great. So I'm really pleased that we chose to start here.
And it's been 20 years on this site, hasn't it? But actually, Wyecliffe Galleries has been going longer than that, I think.
Yes, the Wyecliffe Galleries has been going probably, I imagine, from the 70s. I think my father-in-law bought the Wyecliffe Galleries in the Cotswolds, which was already trading as Wyecliffe Galleries in the 80s. So, it was a gallery from at least the 70s, maybe earlier than that. So I don't know the history of the name. I don't know why it's called the Wyecliffe Galleries, but it's been going for a very, very long time. And we did this site in 2004. The gallery in the Cotswolds is closed down. My father-in-law's retired. Although he still does framing, and he's still got a vast array of Victorian prints and original plates. The gallery originally was a printing site as well. So proper etchings being printed. There's an awful lot of hunting, fishing scenes of, like I say, Victorian plates. So it's a very different kind of art industry back then. Now we tend to find, as you know, that the artist moved from oil paint on canvas and engravings to pretty much mixed media. We use that phrase a lot, don't we, mixed media, but
it encompasses a lot, actually. But I think we've touched on this in some of our recent conversations, where the genres of art have kind of bled into one, whereas I think when I started out, and certainly probably when you did, you could have, there was a cityscape genre, there was the figurative genre, and everything could be boxed quite nicely and packaged. Whereas these days, it's everything kind of falls under contemporary art. And as you said, artists have become so compelling in the way that they've used the mediums, because you've got wall sculptures now, you've got three-dimensional sculptures, you've got contemporary sculpture behind you, you've got glow-in-the-dark artwork behind me. And the artists that we have tried to pick out really nurture kind of that creativity. We've tried to do that along the way. And I think that's for me, one of the best things about Wyecliffe is the fact, obviously, you own it. Everything in here reflects what you love and what you believe in. And so it means that there isn't an outside influence that comes in here and says, oh no, this is an artist, you have to take everything as reflective of what we stand over and believe in.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think it's obviously, we've always had a good team here at Wyecliffe. Mm. And if I see a new artist and I hear that they're doing well, or the works are starting to sell, I'll always look at that art. And even if it's not to my taste, I'll speak to the team. Mm. And obviously you are responsible for generating new artists at Wyecliffe, and we often don't agree about the same artist. Mm. But if you love the artist and the other team members love the artist, I'm willing to give it a try. So it's not just a reflection of the art that I personally enjoy, it's a reflection as a team what Wyecliffe enjoys and what we want to see. And like you say, there's also genres as well. So sometimes we might think we don't have enough landscape artists, but you tend to find trends, and trends are very important in the art world, because a trend comes along and there's a new style, a bit like when artists start producing mixed media using digital printing as well as. So suddenly there's this trend that comes along and everybody kind of goes crazy for the trend. And suddenly there's all these artists producing it. It's very difficult to find those truly creative artists inside of that trend. So the people that are pioneering that new technique or that new style. So I tend to find Wyecliffe, what we try and do is we try and find those creative pioneers. When we don't just want art that's going to sell today, we want artists that are going to continue to create and sell tomorrow. And then we can really put ourselves behind them with the branding and the time and the management. Because as you know yourself, the amount of time that it takes and effort building a new artist, it's not just a case of let's get the work collected and put them on the walls and wait for them to buy them. There's the collections, the styling, the photography, the video, the branding, the printing, the ads, everything that goes behind the launch of a new artist. So you have to truly believe in the artist. And I think that's, as Wyecliffe as a business, we truly do believe in those artists, and it enables us to really invest.
I think so. I think one of the things that we both believe in is the relationship with the artist as well, that we do work with most of the artists one-on-one. And so you develop not just a professional relationship, but a personal one as well, because we've known so many of the artists, particularly that are going to be featured in this kind of film a little bit later on. We've known them for, in many cases, over a decade. So we've already mentioned we've got Louette behind us, we've been representing him for over 10 years. We've got Kerry Darlington, of course, who's probably 15 years now. Yeah. So the relationships have actually come to define, in a kind of a bit of a cycle. They've come to define the gallery, but we've come to define their careers also.
They're friends, aren't they? Yeah. And they're friends, not just my personal friends and your personal friends, but the whole team. So, I'll come in the gallery and, Kieran, Louette will be on the phone to Kelly, having a chat about their weekend and all the rest of it. And it's really nice to see we have that community there. And many of them have been friends for, like I say, well over a decade. So it's really nice. But I believe you do need to spend that time on that relationship. And it's quite interesting when particularly yourself, you found new artists for Wyecliffe, and we all look at them and we all agree. It's actually really nice. It's like finding a new friend. And it's like finding somebody that you kind of pull into your community, and you start building that relationship with them. And it's really nice. Yeah. And quite often our artists are friends with the other artists that we represent as well. So no, it's got that nice community. It's got that nice feel to it. And I wouldn't really want it any other way. I think the artists that, I think out there are probably artists that may sell well, but they're difficult to deal with. And we don't have any of those. And I don't know if that's by choice or just naturally we haven't moved in that direction. But I don't think I could work with somebody that was just really difficult.
So it's really important that we spend that time with the artists and the clients. And we do, yes, there are working hours that we have. Obviously, our official hours are 9 till 5:30. But myself, you, the team, we're often in contact with each other, with the artists outside of those hours, and the collectors, of course, because particularly with international shipping, now we're dealing with people in a lot of different time zones. But we're very appreciative also of the artists. Nobody else can really do their job for them, so they work quite irregular hours. Becky Smith is a great example of that. I know that she starts work at early doors in the morning, and she will work straight through to like 10, 11 o'clock at night to get that glow in the dark paint effect. She needs the darkness. Then she'll be on call, so we're often talking to her late at night. Last night I was talking to Zellini about a commission that we were working with, a beautiful polar bear that he's creating for us. So we're texting, because kind of art doesn't stop. And we're all, quite 24/7 kind of people. And I think that's one of the things that makes hopefully the culture and the team and the artists successful, because we're all kind of in it together. And I think that's incredibly important. But we have also been there, hopefully, and helped with those key moments in the artists' careers. As an example, I think one of Kerry's very first major shows was hosted with Wyecliffe. I mean, I don't know the exact year, I have to say. I want to say probably the early 10s.
Yes, it's quite interesting with Kerry Darlington, because I first discovered her work in a gallery in the north of England, and it was one of the Tree of Life series. I can't even remember when this was. Maybe it was 2008, 2009. So it was a long time ago. And I remember seeing this painting, and there's nothing else like that in the UK market. I remember the use of resin, the beautiful 3D elements that she built up around the tree. It was such a beautiful painting. So we sourced Kerry's work through an art publishing house, and we basically bought whatever we could of Kerry's work, her originals. At that time, it was all originals, and we literally put them in the window of both the gallery here and the gallery in the Cotswolds that we had at the time. And it was just her work just sold, and people just said, I want more of this artist, I want more of this artist. It was fantastic work. So we bought as much as we could through the publishing house. And then a few years later, we had a call from Christian Darlington, Kerry Darlington's husband, saying we've decided to sell, to leave the art publishing house in North England and to sell Kerry's work direct to galleries ourselves. And we see from your website that you promote Kerry, and would you like to continue to promote Kerry? And we said, of course. And I remember Chris saying, so how many paintings do you think you'll want to purchase? And I said, all of them. And Chris said, well, what do you mean all of them? I said, I want to buy as many Kerry Darlingtons as I'm allowed. And that began the conversation about launching Kerry's work as an artist, promoting herself with a massive event, massive show at Wyecliffe. And we hosted an incredible show here with the most amazing works. And since then, we've supported Kerry all the way through. And talking about relationships with artists, I mean, Kerry Darlington, she's such a nice person. I mean, Kerry, and she's so creative. The conversations that I've had with Kerry are really quite inspiring. She, as you know, Kerry can paint anything from her beautiful soft portraits to her Alice in Wonderland series. The Peter Pan series was my personal favourite when we used to sell those. Obviously, almost all sold out now. I think there's a few editions left. But working with Kerry is I used to regularly, and still regularly, go to Kerry's studio in North Wales just to see what she's working on. And the techniques, she always pushes her techniques. And Christian Darlington, husband as well, he's always coming out with new techniques to produce limited editions, new ways of capturing them. So it's been a joy to work with the Darlingtons all these years. And obviously we had the first ever major exhibition with Kerry back then. But since then, pretty much every year or every 2 years, we have a flagship event in November at the gallery. And of course, as the gallery's grown, the events have got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's the one calendar event of the year that everybody at Wyecliffe really looks forward to, is the kind of the Kerry show. And clients get on the phone and they say, what's Kerry going to bring this time?
Yeah. When's the date? When's it happening? We want the date, absolutely. Yeah. But it's interesting because you're right, over the last decade or so, the Kerry show has kind of come to define our annual year. But of course, there was a time when COVID happened and it kind of it kind of forced us to transform the manner in which that we were communicating with collectors. Obviously, it changed everything for the whole world. It wasn't just us, but it provided us with a new challenge to, particularly in that moment, I think people needed inspiring because they were at home, they were, may have been with their families, may have been a bit alone, and they were all over the world. And that kind of invited us to kind of be creative ourselves. We put on the first virtual exhibition as well. I believe that was 2020, and that was the Rose Garden.
We are so excited to welcome you to Wyecliffe Galleries' first ever virtual exhibition, the Rose Garden, presented with Katia Darlington. We are so incredibly happy to be able to showcase some of the most significant works that she's created within her career. The very last Alice in the Rose Garden piece, completing the Alice in Wonderland series.
And so Kerry has helped us as a gallery in that regard and challenge us to put together shows that can invite people from all over the world to attend, whether they are, yes, they might have only just been in Weybridge on their computer, but chances are, I remember particularly there was one lady who stayed up through the middle of the night over in Australia to join our show. And so since that point in time, with the shows for all of our artists, obviously Becky Smith, David Renshaw, there have been so many shows that we now hold dually. So we host both the gallery show, but we also host it online, because one of the best things that I think that's come out of the last 5 years in that really difficult time for everybody with COVID, that was obviously very, just difficult for people, has been the fact that we cater now to a global audience. Whereas I think prior to that point, we did ship internationally and we did have that audience, but at the same time, it had been mainly through a lot of our project work. So obviously we had worked and still continue to work with a lot of interior designers. And so we'd been working and shipping works over to Russia, to Dubai, over to the States, but it had been dominantly with interior designers and kind of fitting out one particular property. Because I felt like the COVID happened and that doorway opened into actually just individuals working with us one-to-one. We now FaceTime, we send WhatsApp videos. And so that period of time, of the 20 years, obviously a quarter of it has now happened since COVID. And that has been groundbreaking for us. And it's become something that hopefully we've taken a massive positive from out of, what was a really, difficult and tragic time for a lot of people.
As you said, before COVID, we would get an order from someone in Florida, an order from someone in Norway, and they would come in and we'll say, oh, great, look, Florida, look, Norway, that's interesting. We're getting an international order. And then COVID happened and it was like, we've got 15 orders from Florida over the last few days. It suddenly, and the internationals became just a regular occurrence, multiple internationals a day. And at that stage, obviously, we started needing to take more space. We needed to build more crates. We needed to work out how we would ship the more sensitive items. So it kind of really ramped up that side of the business.
It did. This space as well. I want to say that you got the space maybe the year before I joined. So I joined in 2016. So was it this about 2015, maybe just the year before, something like that? Yeah,
probably about 2015. I'll have to look back and see. I remember when I had the first gallery, number 6, it's quite a small gallery, but it was really nice and comfortable. It was a nice space to meet customers. And then after a few years, I remember it was one Christmas. Our busiest time is October, November, December, as you know. People want their homes to look nice for Christmas. People buy art as gifts. I remember one Christmas, it was so busy with people needing to collect their orders that I actually ran out of space to hang artwork on the walls. I was literally, it was all just gift wrap paintings.
Paintings
piled up everywhere. It was so bad. And I said, I need more space before this happens again next year. So I bought the shop next door, and then after that we bought the shop next door. And each time I did it, my dad, who was retired during this time, would come up and help me with the shop fit. So it was a really nice thing. I had to spend some time with him. We knocked walls down and refurbed it all. But I remember when I took where we are now, the warehouse over, and it's a massive space here. Both as a display space, we also have the storage that goes on behind. So suddenly it was like doubling the size of the 3 galleries that we had at the back. And I remember ringing my dad up and saying, I might take the place behind. And my dad says, oh, you want me to come up and help? And I'm like, yeah, but it's a warehouse. And he went, oh. So I'll look back and see when those photos are, because literally it was just me and my dad trying to refurb this warehouse. And before us, it had been a carpenter here. So it was it was literally, we had large holes in the wall where before that was a garage. They used to do MOTs on cars there. He had lifts, he had all these machines, and everything was kind of left. So it was a lot of work getting this space sorted out. But it was a really exciting time because we went from having this lovely showroom of the galleries at the front to being able to have a construction space for framing, for producing canvases for artists, for dispatch, for building crates. And suddenly, not only do we need the space, but we needed the team of people to help. So that was a big turning point for us.
Yeah, it really was. I remember before I joined seeing pictures of the space, and at that point as an art consultant being envious, because I thought that's an incredible resource to show clients paintings, because galleries have so much noise in them. They're brilliant spaces because you get inspired left, right and centre, but at the same time, if you're trying to find one painting, actually it can be quite an onslaught kind of visually. So being able to have one bay where you can completely control the lighting, not interrupted, and actually really show off, this collector's particular chosen painting. I remember seeing it and being envious, as you like, really, but also from an exhibition space point of view. And it's become so multifunctional and kind of almost like the heart of the gallery, because it hosts our exhibitions. It is an art consultant space. It's where we dispatch from. Obviously, we do occasionally use it for storage also. And it also photography. We've pushed so much through photography as well to help with that trust from online selling. It was a long while ago that you kind of secured the space and made it a part of the gallery, but at the same time, it was a massive decision. I think it has made the business leap forward, like you say, because it compelled it to have more team members and more ambition than we had before.
And also we went from having the showroom at the front where someone might come in and say, have you got this artist? And I'll say, yes, their work's over there. And have you got any red abstracts? So yeah, we've got a red abstract by Katia Darlington. She's over here. To suddenly needing a stock management system.
Yes.
Because of course with the warehouse came all the extra space and all the storage for the art. So the art just wasn't right there in front of you. And that changed it. So suddenly we're barcoding artworks, we're scanning where we put them, we've got the work vans, which vans are on. You need people to help you manage the stock if it's on more than one site, as opposed to me coming in and saying, where's that picture gone?
Yeah.
So it changed everything. As a showroom space, it's brilliant, but it elevated the gallery in lots of other ways.
So you touched on earlier about the fact that we also invite artists to come in here and work when their studio spaces, although a lot of them have very large comprehensive studios, sometimes they need just that extra, or they need members of our team to assist with what they're doing. And some of the projects that we've worked on have necessitated them to come and use this space. And some of the projects that we've worked on over the years have been extraordinary. There was Silverwood, where Faye Nassajoli, we commissioned her to create a curved canvas that fit the atrium of a beautiful mansion, luxury property, literally millimetre perfect. And of course, that was reinforced from the back, very heavy. So she came and she had almost a residency with us for a couple of weeks, didn't she?
Well, we had joiners in making the structure before the canvas was stretched, because it had to be the exact angle for the wall. And then we had different artists whitewashing the canvas, preparing the canvas, and they came in and she took residency here, produced just an amazing commission just for that atrium in that house. And of course the house is tens of millions of pounds. It's just the most beautiful property, and you kind of walk in and you have this curved horse coming out of the mist so it enabled us, the space enabled us to do fantastic projects, which back then was quite new to us as a small gallery. Of course, now we're used to 4 metre by 4 metre craning and artworks into people's apartments in central London. We now know the right people to speak to and the right artists and how to do it. But back then it was very much learning, and these large projects were quite intimidating.
Yeah,
but when we always got them right. Sometimes they took longer than we expected, but when we installed them, it just all became worth it.
Yeah, it really did. One of we have spoken about it previously on our podcast, but at the same time, one of my personal favourites will remain Mumbles. Obviously, a couple of years in the making, with Wyecliffe commissioning 15 piece is specifically completely bespoke for one of our clients' home in conjunction with Lorino Design, and that was I think really the one of the peak moments, showing the ambition of what I suppose the alignment of a client, a gallery, an artist, and a designer coming together to create one of the most accomplished projects that I've ever seen. It was completely seamless, and the property was outstanding. Obviously, in quite humble location in Mumbles, beautiful. That technically a 3-bedroom property, but just something that had been done so perfectly for the needs of the family. And to finish it off with Louette's work was just something else. I mean, so some of the moments where we're talking about the leather balustrade, which was this beautiful kind of almost like green rusty crocodile fabric, but then Kieran then created oxidized rust finishes in one of the commissions, just so that it gave these little moments together. And I think that some of it comes back to the space, but I think it's that moment of ambition with the gallery and the artist where we want to take it that step further. And I think that's one of the things that we have become known for, being as ambitious as we possibly can be. And that's why potentially we've attracted and kept the artists, because none of them are on contracts with us. It's all on a basis of complete trust. Becky Smith has beautiful garments that have gone down the runway at London Fashion Week in conjunction with Ghent. Louette again, and the Hyperpop project last year, the art car that drove across Spain and was shown at a festival of Speed. We've taken it, I hope, and elevated it past just a painting on your wall, but an entire lifestyle and culture, and something that you can go along and watch at a museum quality level, but also is completely accessible to you in your home. So hopefully that is what helps us stand apart. Yeah,
some of my favourite commissions over the years, the ones that are my favourite, I can't really discuss because you sign NDAs and you're allowed to talk about it. But
particularly those Russians, right?
Yeah, the Russian ones. But I mean, there's one in Sussex that we both did, which was an amazing property. Yeah. I mean, miles and miles and miles of just the driveway before you get to the house.
The herds of deer.
Herds of deer, and it was just incredible. And obviously, we did the entire property over a long time to get it just right. Yeah, some of the projects we've done have been crazy. People flying their jets over to collect their artwork. Visiting the gallery from helicopters and boats. We've done art on boats. Just the most amazing super yachts. Yeah. So no, it's been, we've had some amazing projects. Sometimes it's not just the really big ambitious projects. Sometimes it's somebody that has an emotional connection with a piece of art that for whatever reason they need to commission something for a lost one, and then they come to us and we just get it right. The artist gets it right, and we help to get it right, and it's the right piece in the right place for that person. And just seeing what it means to them, that's often the best commission.
I agree. I have a massive soft spot, as you know, for David Renshaw. Love every time I talk to him. We spend half the time talking about art and probably half the time talking about what we've done at the gym that week.
Yeah. I have those conversations with Dave. Yeah,
exactly.
He's a lovely guy, and that, to be honest, when he comes down for the exhibitions that he has, after the exhibition, we normally, with most artists, the next day after the exhibition, we talk to the artists about what happened the night before, the clients, whatever. Me and Dave just tend to talk about the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
We love the exhibition, we love the artist, but we end up just chatting, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. But his artwork has a particular sentimentality to it, which I've always enjoyed when we work with the collectors. And I love the fact that he's kept the art as accessible, almost as democratic as it possibly can be. They obviously have stayed within, hopefully, what we consider to be an affordable price point, because he wants to create art that people can really cherish and love within their homes. And I think that's the ethos that sits behind all the artists that we work with, regardless of the price point, that they really care where the artwork goes. They're always desperate to see the photographs, at the other side, because once they've kind of done that painting, it comes to us, and then in many instances they never hear from it again. But they love seeing those photographs, they love the feedback from the collectors. But I think Dave's work for me kind of particularly epitomises that connection between individuals, because there's such a story and narrative behind his art. But they're all brilliant in each one of their own individual ways.
Yeah.
Happy 20th anniversary to the Wyecliffe Galleries. The Wyecliffe Galleries actually took me on when I was really young, and they took a chance on me, and they completely built my art career up from scratch. So I'm so grateful to them. I wouldn't be where I am now, and I'm now one of their top artists, selling my work all around the world. The team there are literally amazing. So yeah, happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And this is a result of 20 years of the Wyecliffe Galleries.
Happy 20th anniversary, Wyecliffe. I feel so fortunate to work with such a supportive team. The care and the encouragement that I receive as an artist truly makes a difference. Whether it's the owner of the gallery, the creative team, even the shipping department, each person plays their vital role in ensuring a positive, inspiring environment. It's such a joy to work with wonderful, creative individuals. Here's to many more years of creativity and success.
Hi guys, I hear it's your 20th anniversary. That's amazing. Congratulations and well done. I think I've been with Wyecliffe now for 20 years myself, so it's been quite a journey together, and we've had some amazing exhibitions. Some of the notable ones where we had everyone dressed in fancy dress for Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz. It was just such brilliant fun. And I think I had my first virtual exhibition with you guys too. So it's been an amazing 20 years, and here's to another 20. Congratulations.
Just wanted to say a huge congratulations to Wyecliffe Gallery in Weybridge for your 20th anniversary. Wyecliffe have been representing my work for many years now, and have done such a marvellous job of connecting my artwork to all my lovely collectors. Ben, Katia and all the team there work so hard to provide a professional and friendly service for their artists and collectors alike. I'm hugely grateful to all the hard work you've put in over the years. So cheers and congratulations to you all on your 20th anniversary.
Happy birthday, Wyecliffe Galleries. 20 years of supporting creative vision across the UK. That's amazing. Such an achievement, and honoured to be able to say that we've been involved for a good chunk of that. Some of our most notable collections and shows and releases have been cultivated and supported by yourselves. So thank you so much for that. You know, what a journey so far. And yeah, big happy birthday. 20 years old, like myself. And yeah, here's to the next 20 years of creative collaboration, guys. Well done, and happy birthday.
Just want to wish Wyecliffe the happiest of 20 years. Celebrations and congratulations, and what a birthday. I couldn't even stay married that long. A bit about Wyecliffe from an artist's point of view. They are absolutely fantastic. They get behind you, their marketing team's brilliant, and I've had some wonderful, wonderful years with Wyecliffe. I wish you so much luck, and here's to the next 20.
Hi, Mark Illuminati here, and happy 20th anniversary to Wyecliffe Galleries. And I'm so pleased for them to have had the business running so successfully for so long. And I hope to see you all soon.